Welcome food travelers to the episode here in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. In this episode, we start off at the PH Europa Park, which is open 24 hours. This is a mini European place where they have over 3.11 hectares development zone as a European style area. And they have a canal, the architecture buildings of the Georgian, Victorian, Tuscan, and Venetian influences with some iconic landmarks such as like the Eiffel Tower, the Big Ben, a French Renaissance bridge, the Sydney Opera House, and many more. And along the canals are shops, beauty salons, photo studios, and a lot of different restaurants. There's no fee to enter the park. It's easy to find on Google Maps, and there are a lot of photo opportunities.
Yeah, Micah, this is kind of a new spot. I don't want to say super new, but relatively new. They kind of built this whole area down. It's about south of, I guess, what you would call downtown Phnom Penh. Probably about a 20-minute drive or so, depending on traffic, of course. So if you're going toward super traffic time, it's going to take you a while. But essentially, they built this whole section. A lot of wealthy people live in that area, actually. And it's just like being in a little park where, as you mentioned, and just going around being able to see different European or other countries' kind of notable landmarks that they have just here in Cambodia.
Yeah, and surprisingly, that area, that PH Europa Park, was not very busy at the time when we were there. So you could pretty much get the right photo angle that you want. And after strolling around, we headed over to Samba Europa Brazilian Steakhouse, which was located right at the park. They have another location at the Toll Court branch, which according to their website is their second branch in Phnom Penh area, and it was open since 2016. And there are other branches around other countries nearby, such as KL Malaysia, and there's other branches in Laos. And at this location where we were at, they were open daily from 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for lunch. Then they're open again at 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. for dinner. And the dinner buffet that we went to has 15 different meats for $35.90 a person, and that is USD pricing. And it also includes about 25 types of hot and cold dishes from the buffet section, and complimentary grilled pineapples and grilled corn. We are not sure if this is like a regular thing, but at this time of this recording, when we came here, we arrived close to 8 p.m. and they gave us about a 50% discount.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised with that. I'm of course happy to take it since it's a discount, but we don't know if that was a regular thing, but they just gave it. Anyway, it's the setup is pretty similar to what other Brazilian steakhouses that you have, at least in the U.S. as well, and possibly other areas, where you kind of have that buffet section, as you mentioned, with a whole bunch of different things you can go up and grab, and then all the servers will come through, and those serving the meats, they'll come in with anything that's ready, fresh off the grill, that's ready to be cut up for whoever wants those different types of meats that come to the table, and give you an offering, and you grab it. So very similar to our visit to other Brazilian steakhouses, especially the one we went to over in Linwood, Micah, over at Fogo de Chao. We did an episode over there. So if you kind of, what were the things you actually liked about it compared to what you were in Fogo?
Yeah, Simon. So some of the items that I thought was interesting and different for one is the seafood section. I don't remember seeing that at Fogo, like with the oysters and everything else. I believe if you wanted to eat seafood at Fogo de Chao, you had to order the seafood platter. Other items that I saw here that were a little bit different, I know being in an Asian country, of course, then you have more Asian influences with Asian dishes. I think that was a nice touch having that type of stuff. Other things that I saw being a little bit different here was even on the weekday, it was packed. It was like super busy in here when we came here. What do you think, Simon?
Yeah, it was a lot more busy than I thought. As I mentioned before, it's a wealthier area, and a lot of there are extremely huge villas that are around this neighborhood. So I know the people who are around here have plenty of money, but I was surprised on a weekday that we went that there was that many people. I know, as you mentioned earlier, the Euro Park area outside it wasn't very busy. I know during the weekends this place gets pretty packed. Saturdays and especially Sundays, there are tons of people. So you'll see like a huge groups of families and friends will come in and walk around the park and look at all the different structures that are around. But yeah, for a weekday, this definitely did surprise me.
So some of the items that I really enjoyed from this specific Brazilian steakhouse was that smoked duck and the char siu. I thought the char siu, this one I really enjoyed. I thought it was marinated really well. It has good flavor, it has a good glaze on top, giving that really beautiful caramelized, sticky, glossy finish on the outside. The char on the char siu is kind of like that slightly blackened smoke edges, like kind of like a toasty bitterness that cuts through like all that sweetness and everything. And to me, that char or the char siu was kind of like the Texas barbecue that you get from kind of like those burnt ends. So both got like that nice char from the sweet crust, texture contrast like of the tender, juicy interior, slightly chewy but crispy exterior.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you on that, Micah, with the char siu. I think I had like 4 rounds of it. It was the one where I kept going back and asking for more. For me, I'm right there with you. I really like the kind of charred areas, and especially with the sweetness and the savoriness of the pork meat. It's just really, really good. And so it's one of my favorites. So that's the one I definitely did get multiple times as they came across.
Yeah, so the other thing I really liked was that smoked duck. I thought the smoking process infused the duck with a lot of rich, woodsy aroma. The duck has like really nice some fat into it, and it's not like overly fatty, and the skin was nicely rendered. Slightly crispy on the outside where the meat still inside was tender and juicy. I think they did a really good job seasoning it as well. Sometimes you get that gaminess in the duck from I don't know what, but in this case, I thought it was really good. They did a great job. Kudos to them on that, because every time they came by asking, oh, what other meats do you want? I'm like, I want more duck.
Yeah, I like the duck too. It was interesting when they came out, as you can see here, when they brought out the beef ribs. They actually brought it through with a barbecue grill that they rolled out, which is pretty interesting. It was cool to see something a little different in the presentation-wise as they're going through and cutting the beef ribs. I like the beef ribs. It's not Texas style, in which we generally really love. I love Texas beef ribs, but it was very good version, so I was happy with it. There were some hits and misses with the different meats, and so it was nice to have the beef ribs. One of the things I actually wanted to point it out as well was they actually have some off meats, and that was something that I know I had. You didn't have one, from what I remember, but I had the chicken hearts, and I believe the intestine as well. And for me, I do enjoy those different off meats, and I was happy that they actually offered it compared to probably something you wouldn't find in the States, where you'd have to go to a specialty restaurant to actually get those items.
Yeah, I didn't have those extra meats that Simon did, but I also want to point out something that I did not like with this one was that Parmesan beef at the very beginning of the video. I thought that was a bit dry and tough. I kind of find it interesting. So with the Parmesan beef, they usually use like a lean cut beef, which is kind of like a top sirloin or rump, which doesn't have very much fat to it to begin with. So it's very easy to overcook and can often come out dry. And the Parmesan cheese is usually like very little moisture to it, and it's really high salt content. So I feel like it's like a bad combo in general. Like you have all the salt just pulling out all the juices and this very lean meat, so overall it just becomes really dry.
Yeah, I agree. It was dry and a little tough. The chew, it fought against you as you were chewing it, and so it took a while to break it down and to actually get it to the point where you have a nice swallow, and it didn't feel like it was still too thick. And of course, we finished off with some dessert, which was nice that they gave to us, in addition to other fruits and stuff that you could take from the buffet section.
But overall, I think this was a good spot to hit up if you are at the PH Euro Park and you're a big meat lover. And to wrap up the episode are the notables. Unfortunately for this one, there are none.
If you've enjoyed the content you've seen, don't forget to support the channel and hit like and subscribe. And if you want to see additional pictures of food and our travels, go over to our Instagram page and follow us there. And thanks for watching.